Oh my God. Now I know why it's the 22nd. I shouldn't think. I don't want to think. You see, sometimes thinking is no good. The 22nd, 11 and 11, the first two men, the next two men. It's war. 2-2. There has to be war. It's the 22nd of September. I have blackjack with bot time all the way to 12 o'clock, one side of the line where you stop the working, to the other side of the line where you started the working. In between, you can do anything you wanted, and that's how we got the money sign. And that 2-2 in the casino, 2 against 2 means war, and it's raw. So tomorrow is the truth, where man must face man. So we now know it starts to rain tonight, and the skies will darken, and they will grumble with every thought you have. And every time you have a thought, it will grumble just for you. And it will grumble differently for every man. For every man's house has a different wall. And for every wall you have, there's something different in the house, which makes every man's different from their choice only, because they bought what they have. It was their choice. So when the sound comes out, and the rumble comes out, and the rains fall, if the house has no roof, he may feel no rain, because he will be covered by the condom or the .com, which is God, is all of communication, who will cover any house that believes in the whole truth and nothing but the truth, because the story must come in. The day is running short. There is time for 12 more hours to make it fair, thus 1 more hour for the Spirit, who will take both sides, because the other side just doesn't know any better. It's a little sad, but you know, we'll forget about him anyways. He was a pest. P-E-S-T, pushy, earth, E, snake, crossroads, pest, pet, peace, earth, time. Pets on earth, piece of time. Why? Because if you have more than one, you remember that pets with an S is either the time to feed them or the time you do anything you want when no one's around, because it's the time to play. And men think of anything when it's time to play. So then we have pets, but they're only pets, and pets are to play with. So play with it and come back to the beginning, because you are perfect man. Number 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You see, if I went to 5, do you remember the rhyme? 5 alive? Well, this time 5 is dead, because it's 4 and 4 is 8, and 5 and 5 is 10. And everybody knows in Baccarat, 10 goes back to the beginning, so I must be number 4, because if it went any further, there wouldn't be any story, as 4 doubles up to 8, and 8 is great, and I ate in the E story, because if we all eat, we can keep us moving. Don't you know how it means with our feet that we eat, and our arms race? Or is it our mind that is supposed to race? Are our nose or our eyes the time to sleep for the reproduction of the ears? E-A, E-A, E-A. Oh, you're not with me yet. You're not here? E is for the E-game. The A is for the angel. E-A-R is for the race. Or if you take the secondary road, and your friend takes the other one, it comes around to the same thing, and you're back with your friend again at the point before you split up again. Okay? Ear, and the S is all the trouble. You got to go around in there, because everything you hear, you got to figure it out and figure out what's not mixing you up. You know, so that's like a snake. So that's the ears. What the ears are for. The eye, browse. We browse around. The teeth. You see the teeth? The snarl of the teeth, you see, it's where the teeth take you. You see, at one point in the story, we had a little girl, she was red. Well, we're men, we have red blood, and still the wolf ate her up. So the teeth were shown by the wolf. So it's a reminder of the wolf. So they gave us teeth. We didn't use our teeth that way, but we used the teeth to eat with the feet that we eat, the eat of the earth of the ear, and that's what we hear, and that's what we know for the nose, of the taste of the mouth, of the tongue, Quebec, tongue, your taste, tail of life, place to be, Quebec, the tale of all stories. Everybody was fighting for language, but it wasn't the language we should be fighting over. We should be playing together, because it is the language of Quebec, having the English with the French, that brought the man of man to understand how to play the game, because he went down to Cuba to visit the girl. Her name was Ayenya. A for angel, Y for the crossroads, E for the man, N for the connection of. As you see, there's only one space on the bottom because the man is on the bottom, and then the I and the A. The I and the A are the same because the I is the I man in general, and he's God, and the I robot, and the A is for the angel, Ayenya. I met the girl of my love, and I didn't even know. She had the straight connection. Now she's hanging out in the Big Apple. Be careful out there. Some apples are good, some are poisonous, because the beauty that is sleeping, caused by the poison apple in the greatest city, were the two towers that were different, that were the same colors, were so different they came down, because one was black and white, because the black sheep fell into the dust, and when he came out he looked different, and when they put the towers up they looked the same, so that was a lie, so they had to come down. Nostradamus was right. He was right. He knew, because he knew the past and he read it, and he knew the future because he read it, and I can read the past, and I don't want to tell you that I can read the future because there's only one thing I can read, and it's what everybody always feared, and it's the 13. And tomorrow is the 13th. It's the 13th hour of tomorrow that will tell the rest of whatever I had to say in this story. I do not know what is going to happen. It will rain, obviously. It is easy. It rains over everybody's head. But that is okay. I have an umbrella by the .com of my communication with the purity of the I and the E and the A and the O. The vowels, vowels. You take the vowel when you get married and you say I do. Those are your vowels. You have to know how to use all your vowels. An A goes at the beginning and one goes at the end, and the Greeks told us all the positions for the I. As the A is for the angel, A and the E is for the E game, I is for the I robot, O is for the world we're in, the U is for all of us, man. And sometimes Y, because the scissors is a Y. You see, now that I want my scissors, it's not here. It's gone, but it doesn't matter. I can make up the scissors. See, here's the scissors. Looks like an X, right? So you really don't know the full circle of things because you don't know the story. And the whole story, a hole is round. So that would mean the X is in the circle. So that would be for EXO. And they got 9 squares for the 9 tries on day 6. And don't you know, if you played it, 1, 2, 3, I think it's 6. You have to make 6 moves before the next move becomes dangerous, or it is equal, which creates war. And that's the game of EXO, and that's how it's played. And all the games on Earth, that's why they're played, and every game is played on Earth for a reason, and now you know the reason. You think the money should mean the same thing? The only thing you should know about the money is you should come out and help support the truth. I have absolutely no money, and I don't want your money. All I want is one thing that you can do with your money, and I want communication, and somebody has to pay for that. I'll be the speaker. I am free. Give me a donut. I don't care. Give me a circle of anything. Give me any food, celery. It doesn't matter. I got food in my fridge. I've already paid my debt. I already have an income for life. I gave away 1/4 of my life. I gave away 250,000 to my brother. The 250,000 missing, okay, in the 4th part of a leap year. That's what happened to me. I am not foolish. I gave away my worth on Earth. And with it I got a little bit of risk, stun, which is a risk. Tune, the tune I took to play, risked it, I lost it, but in return, I get a return, because there's a return usually on everything if you make the right investment. My brother gives me a little money so I can survive. Survive, which is life. I have to serve life, so I have to be here. So don't worry, I'm not in danger, and there's no knives in my house. I don't keep dangerous things in my house. Even the scissors disappear. The only thing I have is a key, because the only point there is to my heart. And if I stab my heart with the key, it's the key to life. And that's God. And that's all we need. That's all we need to know. So you don't have to be in the car to have the car. But if you don't know how to drive the car, as long as you got the key, and the key is in your heart, you got God in your heart, and all the Jews forever and ever, it would never be the same ever again because of this day here. And this day is now. and I have 3 minutes before the witching hour. The witching hour goes from now, it goes till 12. What happens is 0 and 1 and 2 is that it is 0 time now. 2012, we will be starting the new calendar. It'll be 0002. It is very scary. Why we're at 0 time? Because it's moving nowhere. We know all the answers now, but in your calendar, it will only change on January 21st. And unless you listen to my story and play the whole game, your calendar will not change. Your life will not change until you see truth. Thus proven, you'll want to do it my way, and you'll change the number on your calendar to a different calendar. We're still on the same world here, and everything is okay. We're just using a different number. Just because the number went and stopped and we started over again, well, it was the end of that and the start of another, and that's the way it is. And now we are 0000, the 4 zeros, before the cards were dealt in Baccarat, before anybody knew the number of anyone, before the 2 cards in your hand were dealt of anything of any kind. And in Baccarat, you sometimes get a 3rd card, but do you ever get a 4th card? Because it's the 4th card in life that makes a square, that makes it perfect. 4 cards, each card has a little point. Points are the ends. 4 cards make a square, which makes the 4 directions. 4 by 4 is 16. 4 by 4 is on the road. The reason for the 4 by 4 and how they got to the logic of finding it. You see, I only have the logic of every man that ever lived on this earth, because that's evolution. I just plugged into the mainframe through my angel, and he's happy to serve me because he was, I mean, I was happy to serve him. Now he's paying me back. For a guy with no memory, I need no memory. I just have to wake up. You ask me the question, I go get it. Just like on the internet. But you can only ask me the simple things of life, because that's all we know. I know what I learned here. He knows what he knows there. In between, we learn together, and the difference is we discuss whether it's good or it's bad. For the next time we come back, we'll know the difference. Then we'll adjust, because the adjustment makes things better to fit, because that makes perfection. Anything that adjusts, moves, and flows together. Anything that is hard and doesn't move gets banged, is a stone. A stone gets crushed that doesn't move, like a car into a wall. They hit, they be turned to a pebbles, fall to the ground into dust. They become nothing at all, like the zeros. So 2 rocks who had the value of 1 hitting each other in space, falling to the ground, to become the natural 0. That's the reason for the natural 0. Baccarat! B-A-C-C-A-R-A-T. I ain't going to tell you now. Want to sit down with you? I'll give you a seminar on all the casino games and every single number in the deck. I do not know what that game with 70 numbers, what it is. It could be the number of cassettes by the time I finish doing all this. It could be that number there. Something has to tell the number. There's got to be a number for something I'm doing. Like when I stop, and the last time you hear my voice, whatever it is on that, check the time, check anything that has to do with it. It's going to say something, because it's going to mean something to me. The thing is, if I check it now, I won't be able to see it, because it's time that's going to... you know what I'm saying? I don't want to believe what I'm saying, because I'm not a magician. I don't know, because I can't tell the future. I have to see the truth in life. The truth is, I'm not magic. And I don't know any more than the next. I just put logic together, okay? And I don't want to be looked at as an idiot. So I don't know what's coming next. But I know there's a number to all the stories I told you. I mean, it's official. And it's official because I'm asking to see how many numbers. And they add it up for me, and I don't know where it is right now. But at the end, if I don't look now, look at the end, it'll match something. So you match it to something else. And when you come up with that match, think if it fits to anything to do with life. The I part of life, God, or the E part of life, where they put us. To play the game of God is 7, but 6 is enough. 7 is rest. We never actually make it to 7, because the 7th inning is the stretch. Harry Carey. Oh, he's so scary, it's the end of the game, because Harry Carey has gone back home. How scary is the truth when the one who sings it might be the one who wrote the whole story. So it's scary. Harry Carey. World God Network. WGN from She Calls Go. Oprah Winfrey. The Apple of New York. And we have Chicago. So it's not me who's making the whole game. There's other players on Earth I get to play with. I am not alone. I will have friends. All the friends are out there. I know all their names. If I figure out everything about their name, I'll know them a lot better. And if they hear this, they'll want to know me, because they'll want to know about themselves, because everybody wants to know about themselves. But I'll only tell you how you were put together from the letters and the numbers And that's why we calculate all the time. Because everything in life is a calculation until you die. That's when everything